Okay, we are here for match number 2, the Modern Invitational Qualifier Series at Lockshack Milnerton. Yeah, this is Harry Shaper versus Edward Bell. Harry playing good old Affinity, which I'm not really sure why it's called Affinity.
Something that's stuck for quite a while now.
It's robots. Beep boop.
Nothing but artifacts.
Yeah, and Edward not playing Jund, surprise. He's on Mardu Pyromancer, which is a deck that's relatively recently come to popularity. It's an aggressive tokens-based strategy, and then using the somewhat silly Bedlam Reveler, which in most situations is 2 mana for a 3/4 with prowess. It also happens to draw you 3 cards.
Yeah, it's pretty stock standard good card.
Efficient, yeah. Nice rate, it's good. And yeah, so he's playing Rabble Masters as well, which is a
in the main is
sort of
spicy.
new addition. Yeah, I feel like the Lingering Souls are very, very good against the
Affinity. It's absolutely excellent. I mean, a lot of their creatures just 1 toughness.
Yeah,
They're very top heavy.
It's definitely Harry's game to win here because his evasion it comes in the form of flying. And the deck doesn't play any sort of removal. He's playing Wood Flare on the side, a single copy, which is probably his best hope post board.
Yeah.
But I feel like he's gonna have a tough fight ahead of him now. Both players up 1 at the moment. Yeah, and looks like they're about ready to go. Phone is not on me.
Man. See what the draws look like.
Yeah, I don't think the Affinity deck mulligans too well, but you're just forced to sometimes. Edward has a way to...
There it goes.
recharge. Yeah, it's not a great thing to see. Edward just peeking at the standings quickly.
It's good to know. Kind of suzz up what you're coming through.
And just for clarity, today's standings aren't posted till the event is actually finished. So he's just looking at where he stands to finish if he does well at this tournament. Harry down to 6.
I must say that turn 1 Inquisition I think is very strong here. Does he have the land base to... I can't quite see from the reflection there, but...
I see a mountain. There's probably a Blackleaf Cliffs there.
Yeah. Ooh, that's straight out swamp.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah, that's
right
super great against Affinity. I mean... Yeah, and...
Biplating, Galvanic Blast, Welding Jaw, Ink Moth, Blink Moth, and an Opal.
Yeah, that's not a very good hand for him right now. I mean, there's little to no interaction. He sets up nicely for what he draws next, but if he's drawing any lands, I mean, Edward can just steal the show here very quickly.
Why would you play the Mox Opal?
Yeah, I also find that a bit strange playing it now. I mean, 0 mana, you can play it whenever you need it, but now it's just a target for Edward to take out.
Sure.
And he does main Colligan's Command, so if he does get that early enough before Harry's able to do something with it, it's not where Harry wants to be.
Oh, just passes back.
Yeah. I mean...
What did Harry pick up there? Oh, the champ. Champion.
Edge Champion, yeah. I think that's a good one.
That's his way through.
That's his out. I mean, I don't think Edward has any colorless source of interaction in his deck to really deal with it.
He does play Colcom. Like, Colligan's Command is pretty good against this deck. I feel like he should have just played the champ here.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised he didn't bring it out, but however...
he doesn't have the extra artifact, that's why.
Oh, okay.
And waking up a land is going to take a mana. Ah, there it is. Tomb with a Spirit Dragon, very nice. Gain 2 life for each colors creature you control, and I don't believe it's a sacrifice effect, so it's just a recurring source of life gain for a deck that outside of the Volt Scourge doesn't really have
Yeah.
anything early. Gain
Oh,
one life.
that's an
for each
interesting one.
colorless creature
Yeah,
you
I mean,
control.
cost 2 tap, but I mean, you can do that in reaction to a lot of things. I think that's pretty nice. Very cool addition.
Yeah. Possibly a way to have just a bit of a leg up in the mirror.
Ooh,
Oi.
Memnite comes out.
And it gets Calcomed. What is happening here?
I'm not actually sure.
I missed that interaction. I'm not sure if he cast it and then... Oh, okay, so the Memnite was on the stack, and in response, Edward went smash discard.
Yeah, smash this card. He discarded
Oh,
Galvanic.
he managed to get the champion down. That one's just gonna punch.
Yeah, that's
Two.
gonna go through. I mean,
2.
essentially, right now he's sitting on that 10-turn clock, which in some situations is not where you want to be. Okay, so Lingering Souls does come out. I mean, not much he can really do with it, but he wants to get something on the board. I guess it puts them both on that 10-turn clock. So at least he's able to interact a bit.
Ed going down to 17 points
yeah.
of life. Oh my, I get to use the life total thing here. Forgot about that fetch land.
There you go. So what do you think Edward's line of plays is going to have to be to bring this out? Because I mean, if he gets a cranial placing, Edward's in a very, very bad position here.
I don't really know what's in Ed's hand. Yeah, this is a weird one. Lingering Soul's very good, but early Edge champion, well, not early, it's turn 3. A little slow, but
Yeah, it generates a slow match, so I guess we can say early in this this occasion.
Slow match. Not really something you'd usually say about Affinity, but because the plating is gone, Harry doesn't really have a free win here. Also, Ed's unlikely to attack with more than one of the souls because yeah, look, he can just punch through because he's got Blink Moth Nexus to pump the Ink Moth.
Yeah, that's
true. So he actually has 2 Infect in the air, which is also a 10-turn clock here. 5 turns.
Do you not want to rather just keep going with the Blink Moth instead of the Ink Moth? You have 2 of them. You can get... Oh no, he only has 1 of them, sorry. You can get it out because then your clock will actually be less, seeing as you have the Edge Champion punching through as well.
So the champ is 10 turns, and a 2-powered Ink Moth is 5 turns. It also helps clear out the blockers here.
Yeah.
And there's the Qualcomm.
He's used 2 Qualcomms already. I mean, it's really nice that he's drawn them, but that Edge Champion is just sticking, and if there is anything happens, the Welding Jar's there to back it up as well.
It is turned off. He can wake up an Ink Moth or Blink Moth to no blocks, he says. Goes down to 15.
Yeah, Edward a bit on the back foot here. Really needs to bring out something a bit explosive, maybe with Mardu. I mean, I would think. Okay, there we go. Rabble Master. That is
the thing.
That is explosive. That is just what he needed. I was thinking more Bedlam Reveler side, but this also
his hand
works
is
for
still
him.
a bit full. Swing.
Ding. Let's check what Harry's life total is.
Harry gaining life. Oh my. So he's taken 1, gained 2. And this is actually quite good. This is a very good life buffer. It literally undoes The
things that come
swings
through,
from
yeah.
Oh, wow. Well, the Rebel Master is going to be a bit of an issue here, but he's got another artifact, which means he can safely block it with his S champion.
Mm.
Edward's hand containing another Lingering Souls and a Bedlam Reveler.
Thoughtseize is basically useless here.
There's a
No
Faithless
hand on
Looting.
Harry.
Dumps the Thoughtseize, dumps
Is that a...
Inquisition, 2 disruption spells gone.
Yeah, 2 hand hits.
Looting faithlessly. Edward says, Hmm. Never a good sound.
Yeah, how do I get out of this situation right now? This guy is gaining life as fast as he's dealing the damage.
Lingering Souls, probably the thing you want to put down here. Yeah, he's just gonna try and
start
put
swinging,
the pressure
yeah.
on here. Let's block one of the gobbos. Okay, blocks. Takes 2, goes down to 19. Doesn't seem particularly relevant, but it gives Edward less of a mountain to climb later when he manages to get a grip on this game, if that.
Yeah.
Another Lingering Souls.
Yeah.
Edward representing Fatal Push, perhaps. Are they even in his list? Yes,
Here
they
we go.
are.
Ooh, getting rid of that Blink Moth is pretty good.
Push on the Blink Moth.
Yeah,
Didn't pop the Welding Jar for it.
Yeah, I find it interesting not popping the Welding Jar there. I mean... Yeah.
21 to 15.
Okay, here we go.
What do we
What's
got?
on the top?
I don't think his card's close to his chest there.
Yeah.
I'm suspecting
That is Hope of Gerper, I think.
Oh man, what a strange little guy.
So that is the one spicy card I did see in his list. It's gonna be interesting seeing what he does end up doing with it. I mean,
attacking? It's a colorless flying man. It's just fine. It's something to put the plating on, and it does that sort of half silence effect. Once again, Edward's got a board here.
Harry just keeps looking at that Rebel Master.
Some source of life gain. I don't think the Rebel Master is going to turn sideways for a while.
Yeah. Ooh, Bedlam coming out though.
Discard, Lingering Souls, and...
There's Souls and...
Lingering Souls.
Ooh, so all 4 of his Lingering Souls are currently in his grave to my understanding. Well, 1 is
3,
exiled. Yeah.
Flashback.
Get to
That's a board from nowhere.
Yeah, that's just insane.
Swing.
I mean, he can just swing.
Fair amount of pressure. Harry has got 2 reasonable blocks here. And since Edward's tapped out, it's pretty much safe to do whatever.
And also, he can't heal up here. The land is currently tapped. So...
4.
Yeah.
Harry going down to 17.
Actually losing life now.
Edward doing a lot of attacking, but not getting too far in here.
Yeah.
His board is super wide, though. There comes the Mox Opal. So there's some life gain involved now. That's 1, 2, possibly 3. And Edward's hand has been refilled. And he's got a glut of 1/1 flying spirits. There's a Pyromancer in his hand. And this is where the deck shines, really. Once you've fought through the initial battle for dominance, you kind of just relentlessly play out your hand like you don't have a care in the world. Because at some point, you're probably just going to draw another Bedlam Reveler. And he's got extra velocity in his graveyard. There is a Faithless Looting he can flash back. So he'll find what he needs. relatively often.
Yeah, deck kind of steamrolls a bit here, and especially knowing that Affinity does not have interaction to really stop that board state, he can just keep growing that board state non-stop. I mean,
there's a lonely whip flare in the sideboard, as we've discussed. But
I mean, Gurper Ethergrid could also do some work. I mean,
Ethergrid is a good card.
It's pretty good.
Ooh, Chucker, there's the last lingering souls. He did have one left. In response,
I gain life.
So the modes are shrink your Ornithopter and drain you for 2. Wake up the Inkmoth. Make mana with Inkmoth. Gain 1, 2, 3, 4 life.
Yeah. And then the drain is going to put him down to 19. Edward's going to go up to 17. Brutality doing quite a lot of work there. I mean, this really opens up the skies for him, for those souls.
Yeah, now we've got a punch. Now there's a huge swing coming in.
He just wants 2 of the Spurs to just stay around for a while. Doesn't want them to really get hurt at all.
Rabmaster spawning friends. I don't know how reasonable it is to refer to this deck as Mardu Pyromancer anymore. I mean, it's just a tokens list.
Yeah, Mardu tokens.
Yes. So that's a 4/5. What a deal for 2 mana. It's so big. 4 in the air, 6 on the ground, 5 bodies back doing nothing. Yeah, it's champion.
He takes 6 from this, doesn't he?
Weathering the beats. Let's just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, that is the thing that happened there. Oh man. A little bit of life gain, but your plating is still gone.
Yeah, he needs that plating, eh? He's just not drawing it. I mean, with plating, he
can at least start making some damage here.
I mean, there's 2 lingering souls just sitting there to block is not very good for him either, even if he does get the plating.
Oh dear.
I don't see what Harry's out here would actually be without his sideboard.
Yeah, it's not great. He's got no way to mop the board up. And Edward's got a token every turn plus 1, 2, 3, 4 extra souls and 2 triggers with the Pyromancer. So, 7 to 8 extra 1/1s over the next 2 turns for absolutely minimal mana.
Yeah, I mean, having a board state like that, I don't see him really getting back onto the back foot there. He's really turned this around, and it's completely in his favor at this point.
He wasn't really under pressure, though. It was just that Harry was gaining life, and so he had to do what the deck does, go wide and hit around rather than through. Okay.
With some
he just popped both of the lingering souls. Yeah, 2 prowess triggers.
Yeah.
6 of them without summoning sickness.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Tap your mana, Edward.
Yes.
Thank you. Beginning of combat, Rabblemaster rallies another goblin, gives them all haste, forces them to attack.
Yeah, that's swinging sideways with that. I mean, Edge Champion into Reveler, because that's got, 2 prowess triggers at the point?
Yeah, it's 5 on the front. It's really big.
And I mean, there's not much he can really stop here. And that's 13 life.
You could say Edward's a little mean for attacking with that 3rd goblin, but he actually doesn't have a choice because they have to attack. So, it's not his fault. It's not me. It's the Rabblemaster.
It's the Rabblemaster. Don't hate on me. Hate on the card. But also that Pyromancer, I mean, he's got
so much value.
Anything he does right now just is value plus.
Probably at some point during playing this, it'd be like, maybe you should try put an intangible virtue in here. But what do you take out? Because this list is, it's a thing. just clearing up the interaction between
Volt
Volt
Scourge,
Scourge
yeah.
and something. I don't really know what. So he gains the life. Volt Scourge dies.
Yeah,
And
welding
he
jar on
regens
the
it,
Volt Scourge.
sure.
Okay.
Now we're counting what gets through. That's 9.
Takes
Take
8.
9, gain 1. Ah!
Okay, gains 3.
1, 2, 3.
Yeah, puts him up to 8. I mean, still a bit stable, but I still don't see what he's going to be able to do here. I mean, Edward has so many
Plating!
blockers ready.
Nothing!
But
Not even a plating would help here.
Yeah. At this point, you just have to play it out anyways in case there's some stray interaction that actually pulls you out from it. But I don't really think there's much.
Citadel go. Wow.
Whew. 9 lingering soul tokens.
Just checking with the judge if this is okay. I've got a lot of dice because I don't have enough pieces of cardboard to represent. Also, space is a concern. Edward says if you can bring me 100 of these tokens, I will use all of them.
Okay, just a life correction here. Harry is actually on 6 life at the moment, not 8.
Ouch.
He must have just missed a life or 2. And Edward is still...
I mean, there's so many tokens.
Yeah, it's hard to watch.
Randomly slip 2 damage through. Maybe the second Colligan's command went to his face.
Yeah, probably something like that, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I would say Edward already has this, but he just wants to go through the lines, make sure he's 100% ahead.
Making the optimal play.
Yeah.
What is in his hand? Does it even matter?
I really don't think so.
Okay, he's put it face down, so we can't really see. He's flashing back the Faithless Looting. And
yes, Pyromancer.
He's gonna grab some disruption spells and throw them straight into the graveyard. Toss the Thoughtseize, toss the Inquisition. I don't see what else you'd... Okay, he's keeping one of them.
I mean, no hand on Harry right now.
Yeah.
But I mean, Harry... him using the Inquisition, for example, he's still gonna get the Prowess trigger, he'll still get the tokens.
It is something. Yeah, that needs to go to exile. Faithless Looting.
Yeah, Faithless Looting does go.
Sure, that'll be corrected in a second. Not that it's too relevant right now. I mean, Edward's just... Oh, finally the Rebel Master comes in. Which absolutely needs to be blocked because that's lethal by itself. Yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah, I don't think there's any way Harry can come back from this. Volt Scourge can only net him 1 life. He can wake up the Ink Moth. He can gain, what is that, 4 or 5 life?
I don't know. Yeah. He doesn't even have a pencil to just stab at everything to count the damage, because that's the correct way to waste time here, is just to take the back of a pencil and hit each one of your opponent's cards multiple times. There we go.
There we go. There it comes out.
Doesn't he just die here?
I'm quite sure he does just die.
He doesn't even have the mana up to... Yeah, this is lethal over and over. 13 damage gets through.
Yeah, it gets through. That's lethal. Yeah. I mean, you're looking at 8 damage over?
Okay. Let's go to game 2.
No, 7 damage over, but yeah, game 2 there. I mean, first game going to Edward Bell.
What is happening over here? So, we have nothing too interesting from Edward. The engineered explosives is not going to be great for him here. No, he doesn't have anything that really comes in on 1. So, EE on 1 is possibly something he'd want to play. It deals with Hope of Girapur, I suppose.
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't put it in. That's bad.
I mean, what do you think would come out? I mean, seeing as Harry is the one that lost that one, he really needs to bring it back now.
Yeah.
What do you think he would?
I don't think he's too interested in. Like, well, one welding jar is probably fine. Oh, he does have a card with the word Affinity on. He's got Thought cards.
3 of them.
My apologies. This is Affinity after all.
But looking at that side, I mean, do you think Ensnaring Bridge could come out here? Seeing as side of Ensnaring Bridge and Affinity is very interesting to see.
I think he just puts it in.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. They're coming out of the sideboard into the main, being able to stop those tokens. I mean, that's Lingering Souls turned off.
He also gets to turn his Pest or Ornithopter sideways and then snap on the plating.
Plating afterwards. So I guess that works out nicely. Etch Champion as well. I mean, I would stock full of them. I don't know why you'd want to not play them.
Yeah, it's probably the best way through here. It's just, other than the Lone Tomb with the Spirit Dragon, he doesn't really have any way to come back from a full board. I think the Whip Flare is the first thing he wants here. Possibly cutting a Blast, but, the spot removal, it's essentially Shock, which kills all of Edward's non-Bedlam Reveler creatures.
Yeah.
So maybe that's actually quite valuable.
Maybe you pull out a Thought Cost for it. I mean, I think you want to just keep your deck as thinned out and stacked as possible with ways to win this one, especially losing the first game.
Yeah,
you don't really want to.
I don't think he needs to slow the deck down at all.
Yeah, he wants to speed it up.
Thought Cost is probably the first thing that I take out here. Even the Springleaf Drum and the Welding Jaw, they're kind of dead later.
Yeah.
They do give you very explosive starts though, the Springleaf Drum, but maybe that's something you could consider trimming a copy of, just to make space for a Whip Flare and maybe Ether Grid. I mean, he really, really has to deal with the Pyromancer and the Rabble Master.
Yeah, there's coming out.
Nothing outside of Galvanic Blast that kills the Bedlam Reveler.
I mean, Rest in Peace does do some work here, but I don't think it's really a key card.
No. He could bring it in, but this is.
Yeah, as I'm saying,
value off the things on board.
He needs to speed his deck up, not
slow it down.
Not disrupt his opponent's deck. He needs to make sure he's going faster.
Yeah, Edward has no life gain really, just the brutality. So he's got maximum of 6 points extra life. This Kambal is a weird one. It's probably something versus control that he'd bring in.
Yeah, I think so.
Ed's definitely bringing in Wear.
Yeah, Wear Tear is a auto include.
This is also quite the hoser. The +1 shoots basically everything in Harry's deck. What else? Yeah, the pushes are valuable. The Colcoms, the Lightning Bolts, the Terminates. Edward's deck is pretty solid as is. I don't like the Blood Moon.
I think he doesn't need the Blood Moon, especially as a one-of. There's not really any extreme reasons to keep that one in, especially when you could be bringing in Wear Tear. I mean,
Wear Tear is the more solid one.
I also think Hand Disruption is not too amazing over here.
Possibly keep in some Inquisitions.
But Thoughtseize I don't think is really what you want.
I mean, Inquisition hits everything that Thoughtseize does in any case. The third cost is, I don't know.
It's good if the game's going long, but away
these are
from
not
that,
games that need to go long.
Yeah, anything away from that, you don't want it in there. You want to stay close to the ground as Affinity.
Okay, so these guys are getting ready. I wonder what Edward's doing. He's sort of turned around. Is he leaning backwards?
I think he's leaning backwards.
Just got his hands strapped to the side of his head, being very relaxed here. So Ed 1 up. Jeez. Sorry for the silence. We're just listening to what these guys are saying to each other. Unfortunately, you can't hear that.
What do you think the explosive start Affinity needs here to take this one?
There's a con.
There is a con in there.
Are we going grind mode? Maybe he cuts the con. That's probably something that'll come out. I mean, I don't really want con against this deck.
Just thinking about it now, I know I was saying that he wants to go under Mardu Pyromancer, he wants to go fast, but what if he wants to take the grindy route? Because Edward has a lot of spot removal.
Mm-hmm.
Does he want to actually outgrind Edward?
I don't think he can afford to go slowly. Edward's got inevitability in this matchup. He
Yeah.
just sticks a Rebel Master or a Pyromancer, and that's basically all he needs to continue.
Yeah. I mean, that Whip Flare could do a lot of work.
So if he draws the Whip Flare early and he times it well, it could possibly catch him this game. Maybe he's brought in the Ensnaring Bridge. In which case, cutting some number of creatures is probably not the worst idea.
Yeah, I mean, if he did want to go grindy, I mean, he could pull out the Ensnaring Bridge, he can pull out the Girper Ethergrids, he can keep the Thought Cost, he can keep Khan, and go down what, you'd probably want to go down your Springleaf Drums, because that's for an explosive start. You want to keep your Moxes, because they just give you so much value. Edge Champions, I don't think you would ever not want to go up on them against a 3-color deck.
She's got a very tight main deck, so it's difficult to take things out.
Yeah. But you can even cut a Cranial Plating to go slow.
Maybe, but it's the most important thing to have when
you do go explosive.
An Ensnaring Bridge down, and also if you want the explosive start.
True. Okay, so you wouldn't want to cut that at all.
I think Ed's gone down to 6. He's decided to keep. Let's see what's knocking around in there.
Here we go. This is a.
Here's the Boomer. Here's the Boomer.
Into Arcbound. Turn 1, Arcbound, Mox, Ornithopter.
Backer.
That is a start and a half.
It looks like a Crackling Doom.
That does look like a Crackling Doom that he brought in.
It is a Crackling Doom. It's to pop the creature with a plating on it.
Hoo. I mean, that looks like he just wants to face looting. He needs to just start getting value here.
Put the souls in the. It puts the souls in the graveyard. Here comes the Inquisition. Got brutality. Oh, so many foils.
that does look like an Inquisition.
The second card is a Colcom. He's got Terminate, Colligan's Command, Bedlam Reveler.
There's a Cackling Doom and a Blood Crypt, I think. There we go. Yeah. That's correct. I mean, you see 5 cards in his hand, but he essentially has 7 with the 2 cards in the grave there, with the Face Looting and the Souls.
I think he's going to hang on to them until he can empty out his hand.
Yeah.
He does need to draw another land. It's a Bloodstain Mire.
Okay. No.
Harry's found a Signal Pest. And yeah, he's got a good start here. This is quite a nice one.
Quite powerful.
It does have 2 pieces of spot removal. Well, 2 pieces of removal. One is spot, the other one is just whatever your biggest creature is, which is probably what he'd want to deal with anyway.
Quite tough one here with the Arcbound Ravager being out there.
Well, the thing is, Crackling Doom always kills Ravager, or the biggest thing, so it doesn't really matter what you keep around. When Crackling Doom resolves, the creature you put the counters on.
What's the mana cost for Crackling Doom?
It's Mardu. It's one of
the okay, exactly, Mardu. Okay, so it's the black, red, white. Him only having 2 lands up now. He does still have the Terminate.
Yeah, Terminate's not that great with a Ravager down.
Not with the Ravager out.
I think he needs to deal with the Ravager first. Hope of Girapur connecting switches off basically everything in Edward's hand for a whole turn.
Yeah, he doesn't. Maybe Terminate on the Girapur, and then next turn he can Cackling Doom. Allows him a line of play where he survives, would be his number 1 concern right now. Or even if he gets that land, Colligan's Command coming out can also do quite a lot of work there.
Did Harry not attack? I think we're in his turn still.
Yeah, I think this is still his main phase.
Popping the Terminate on either... I think it's Arcbound Ravager that he's considering at the moment. Inkmoth Nexus is woken up.
Gerper's text, is it until end of your opponent's turn or end of current turn?
It's the next turn. So
next turn.
Your opponent shuts up for 1 turn.
Yeah. See, that's pretty good here. I mean, then again, he doesn't want to do main phase interaction anyways.
fair amount of damage. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2 in the form of infect. So it's 3 regular and 2 poison counters that Edward's primed to take here. Not a massive amount, but I think he's going to get into a swamp here. So he goes on to 19 off of that. Free damage. I'm winning.
Something Harry likes to see right now. Every little bit counts. And there we go, terminate.
On the Ravager.
On the Ravager, sure. Yeah.
Deal with the shenanigans immediately.
Don't give your opponent the choices. You don't want to allow him to choose what to do too much.
Is Harry gonna all in on the Inkmoth? He's just gonna put the 1 counter there?
I feel like all inning on the Inkmoth without knowing what Edward has in his hand might be the nicest play to get damage in. However, if he loses the Inkmoth, he doesn't have that infect source, and that damage is basically annulled.
Yeah,
which is not
maybe
very
just
good.
one counter on the Ornithopter, so that it's at least got 3 on the back.
Yeah, bit chunkier, can do some more.
And it blocks and kills the souls and the goblins, which is
that's very important. Very, very important. Holds Edward back a little bit.
Also, the Signal Pest, perhaps. The thing is, I don't really want to not be attacking with Signal Pest. So
yeah, you always want to swing with him.
I'm more inclined to leave the counters off of it and put it on the Ornithopter.
Actually, putting it onto the Blink Moth.
That's weird.
That's a strange play, but he must. I think this is where he's going with making sure his damage is not on the infect side of it.
Sure. So the infect is just going to be incidental. If it happens and he sees a line where he can punch through the last points of infect, he'll take it. But for now, he's on regular damage. So we've got 1 point of damage coming through over there.
1 point and 1 infect, I think.
Poison. Oh, well, I guess we'll just have to put on the fancy overlay with the infect. Poison, update all. There we go. Edward's board looking awfully empty there.
Yeah, sadly so. But he did get the Marsh Flats, so he can start recuperating a little bit.
Is that a Colcom?
He has a Colcom. He does have one.
It's really good here.
Cackling Doom, Colcom, I can't recall the rest of his hand, to be honest.
No, Bedlam Reveler.
Bedlam Reveler, there we go.
Also, Blackleaf Cliffs. He's got a 4th land. He's going to flash back the souls.
Just playing the safe play here. Oh, it was 2 infect because of the Signal Pest.
Click. See, the thing is, I put the infect on Harry's side, but he's not taking any of that. It's Edward that has the infect damage. It's gripping 4, Harry on 1, and this is why I don't really like those the Springleaf drums, is they do very little late, and he's already gotten rid of the Arcbound Ravagers, so they have absolutely no utility here. In with a lot. Do you chomp off the Signal Pest at this point? Okay, they're just checking out what exactly Hope of Giripu does. So when it deals combat damage, you may sacrifice it as a triggered ability, and then what goes in the stack is until your next turn, opponents may not play non-creature spells or instants and sorceries, something like that.
Yeah,
I'm not entirely sure.
I think it's non-creature spells, maybe, or
I'm not certain it's too relevant which exactly. But yeah, if it said non-creature spells, it would be a little bit better. That's Master of Ethereum. Hope Giripo says, yeah, non-creature spells.
Yeah,
so
non-creature.
Basically, only creatures. Your removal functions at instant speed only, which is fine because all of Edward's removal is instant speed.
Yeah, so I mean, he can basically. I mean, him only having 1 land open here already states that he doesn't have much to do.
He does have quite a bit to do, though.
With the 1 mana.
No, just in his hand.
Oh, no,
He's
of
got
course.
Call of
I mean,
he's got Cracking
yeah.
Doom, and he's got...
Yeah, no, when he gets back to his main phase, but I mean, he can also use those instant speed after the Hope of Gyroku's effect's taken there. But he's not sacking it. He's not going with that, I don't think. Well, actually, it's being blocked instead. So
Sure. It takes 1, 2, 3 points of damage. And 2 infect. Oh, the sun is horrible there. Getting there. 3. Update all. Let's see what we've got. Yeah, sun in the corner is not great. Can't see too much. Is it an Inkmoth Nexus? No, the Inkmoth Nexus.
that's the Inkmoth. Yes, it is. Yeah.
Sure. Ed just goes land go. What has he picked up? Keeping his cards at a bit of an awkward angle there. We do know Crackling Doom. We know
Crackling Doom. We know Colligan's Command. We know Bedlam River.
So he's drawn one other card because the Marsh Flats was in his hand.
And he played it
previously.
But what do you
Harry
have?
Going to combat. Considering waking up the Inkmoth Nexus.
Ooh, Champion. That's a pretty good situation for him to be in. Yeah, Edward just saying not exactly what I wanted.
Just 2. Puts Ed to 13, I believe, if that connects.
There we go. Gekimon comes out. I think maybe one of the reasons he put the counter from Ravager onto the onto the Blinkmoth is actually to kind of put a target on his head so the Inkmoth can keep going.
Yeah, and he's already gotten him to 4 infect.
4 infect. I mean, he only needs 6 more. Cranial Plating will do it.
Yeah, that'd be pretty good here. Cranial plating is what he wants to see.
And Crackling Doom, is that instant speed or sorcery speed? Instant. Okay. So he does still have interaction, but having to keep that mana up right now, he needs to kind of develop his board. Can't just stand back.
The thing is, if he pops it right away, the Edge Champion goes. Because it gets around the protection. It says it deals 2 damage to each opponent, and then each player dealt damage this way sacrifices their creature with the greatest power.
Greatest power. Okay. And so that does work quite nicely.
With Harry tapped out, he doesn't... I mean, with Harry tapped out anyway, he gets to do nothing, since he's already dealt with the Blinkmoth, because the only way for Harry to get around that would be to wake up Inkmoth Nexus, pump it with Blinkmoth Nexus' pump ability, and then sacrifice the Inkmoth, which he can't do anymore, so... Edward's got a pretty clean removal spell right now. It's a Blood Crypt, comes to play tapped.
Yeah, he doesn't want to take damage right now, does he?
He's got enough mana to work with. And he's primed to cast Reveler next turn. I think he might have drawn a Collective Brutality.
That also works quite nicely for him. Getting that life gain is very good.
Arcbound Ravager. And Edward's gonna pop that Crackling Doom right away.
Yeah, on the stack there, Crackling Doom's definitely a lot better.
Owie.
Ouch. There we go, that's good. Edict over onto the Edge Champion is extremely strong. Holds Harry back quite a bit just to Arcbound Ravager there, and he can turn on the Inkmoth
and smash for a big chunk. It's just, does he want to risk getting Fatal pushed here? 1.
I think just
Edward going to 5 infect.
5 infect. Okay. So halfway there, in regards to the infect.
He's got, enough artifacts to make it lethal. Does Edward have instant removal? That is the question.
He has Collective Brutality, which is not going to help him much there.
Oh, goodness.
There we go.
I'm just going to feed that Inkmoth Nexus. I can't. Yeah, you can tap the Ravager with the Springleaf Drum.
Springleaf Drum to
activate its ability, feed the Inkmoth Nexus 4 counters.
Oh wait, no, sacking the... Wow, he's going
Okay,
all in on this.
No, he's just trying to keep it alive. When it has 3 counters, it's fine.
And he didn't escalate it either, so not really getting much value out of that one.
Oh, he's got a Reveler and a Bolt.
Bolt can do a lot of work here.
Yeah, I feel like if he... Yeah, he's gonna Bolt the Inkmoth Nexus. Yeah, Edward just needs to be patient here, and wait. But Harry's probably also going to be patient and just chip in for 3
This is
here.
a bit of both of them just staring each other down, seeing who kind of blunders first.
Harry just needs to attack for 3 here. His board has become very narrow. Don't wake it up. Oh goodness, please no. Attack. It'll be 6 infect and 3. There's the Bolt.
There's the Bolt.
That's lethal. No, it's not. Yes, it is. That's lethal.
Okay, so he's going to take the damage first.
Let's see what happens. He knows that the Bolt's there.
Yeah. And right now, Edward has 2 cards in hand, right? So he has the Bedlam Reveler and the Lightning Bolt. So he's actually bluffing him a bit here.
3. Okay, so still in combat. End of combat step. Lightning Bolt, Inkmoth Nexus. Does he feed it?
I think right now he kind of needs to feed it. He doesn't want to lose that. He's on 5 infect already. Well, 6. He only needs 4 more to get through.
Bedlam Reveler.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness.
Okay, so he has to Reveler. He has to pull out some sort of removal, or it's just...
It's push. He's got wear and tear. He's got it. That's the removal he wants.
Yeah, that's...
Pop an artifact.
Yeah, Harry really
draws
going...
Did he make it a welding jaw? Swing! No!
Oof, that does feel bad.
What does he have in hand?
That looks like a Foundry...
Drum. And a Thopter of sorts. Some sort of 0 drop. Is that a Signal Paste? No, that's an Overseer.
Overseer, there we go. Steel Overseer. Steel Overseer, Springleaf Drum, and 1 land. And this is where Edward can really pull it back.
Oh, wow. What a chunk of card selection. Edward just drew 5 cards.
Whew.
The Springleaf Drum.
We just discussed the Springleaf Drum. He doesn't necessarily want to keep that in. Got too many of them in.
Yeah,
allows for explosive starts, but doesn't really get you much further.
He's got a Steel Overseer on Harry's side and something.
Yeah, an unknown there.
Edward's still got a fair life total to get through, 18 points of damage.
Yeah, there's a lot to go through. Harry has, I mean, you're looking at about 4 turns plus for him to really bring it back, but Edward does not want
in the engineered explosives. Flashback. Draw 2. Discard 2. Does he keep the explosives?
What number would you want to put the explosives on there?
It depends on the board. I think Bedlam Reveler is immune to engineered explosives in general. Just because, I mean, there aren't enough colors in the game of Magic
to bring up that CMC.
So, I feel like 1 would be
there we go.
good here, but also Fatal Push and extra damage.
There you go. That Fatal Push just doing so much for him with the Pyromancer out, bringing out that token. I mean,
Edward leaning forward a whole lot here. I think he smells blood.
Yeah, he has to take this as soon as possible before Affinity can bring anything back. If Affinity sticks a creature and gets cranial plating, it's going to do a lot.
Well, it's got to be something with Infect, and the only things that do that is
yeah, actually blowing up all his lands was a bit of a...
It's a good way to win a game of Magic, is just to make sure your opponent doesn't have any mana to cast this. Blah!
There we go. Okay, I said 4 turns, but it looks like this is actually just 3 turns is all he needs.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. What the hell just happened? Oh, he drew a pest.
Yeah.
Loot. I mean, explosives on 1 would do the trick here.
Ah, there we go.
I think
Edward
Harry's at
taking
12,
it.
and yep, that's it. It's over. 2-0 to Edward. Sticking him.
And he actually drew the whip
up
flare
one.
there,
Oh man,
but it wasn't enough. There
a
was
little bit
lethal
too
on
late.
board.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Edward taking this 2-0.
Narrowly avoiding a horrible blunder by bolting the Inkmoth Nexus before damage was dealt.
Yeah, quite nice of Harry actually to let him go back on that one a bit.
It probably lost him the game.
Yeah, if Harry was just like, no, it's too late, man. Would have definitely been over to Harry there. Would have gone to
Yeah.
game 3, but good
He
sportsmanship
just screamed,
there.
"It resolves!"
It's too late. But I must say, Edward paced himself very well there,
Yeah.
holding back that crackling doom for
And
a very long time.
Reveler came down at the right time, which is when your hand is empty. I think
Yeah.
that's the correct time to play the Reveler.
Yeah, you don't want to lose important cards for the matchup there.
So it was double rest in peace. Dispatch. Good spot removal
Dispatch,
from
definitely
Harry.
good.
The whip flare and some random
Yeah, what is that? That is...
doodad over there. Something from the side. Was it the ensnaring bridge?
I think that is Ensnaring Bridge.
He put in an ensnaring bridge, a dispatch, a whip flare,
And 2 Rest in Peace.
2 rest in peace.
Mm.
Edward bringing in Wear Tear, Crackling Doom, an engineered explosives, and 1 copy of Fatal Push.
Yeah.
The Fatal Push and the Crackling Doom and the Wear showing
He
up.
did actually bring in the Etched Champions.
Oh,
as
sure.
well. Yeah.
The 2 etched.
Mm. Yeah.
Yeah, had Harry found the ensnaring bridge, he might have been in a better position.
Yeah, he could have stalled out for quite a while there, having like barely any cards in hands. He could have started throwing his hand down whenever he drew a
Yeah.
card, and he would have a lot of time to bring it back.
Edward did put in quite a bit of artifact removal, though. I mean, he was already main decking 3 Colligan's commands.
Now 3 Colligans and 3 Wares. I don't think he brought all 3 Wear Tears in.
It was 2, I believe, but 6 is 5 or 6
Yeah.
is quite a bit.
Quite a lot of...
It's nearly 10% of the deck.
Yeah.
He'll draw his removal.
Mhm.
I wonder what he took out. I suppose the con came out. He's not really showing us.
Yeah, there we go. You can see he took out the Thought Seizers.
Thought Seizers,
Definitely
okay.
took those out. I mean, Inquisition is hitting everything, and you don't necessarily want to fill up your hand with that hand hate when Affinity is already going off.
Put extra pressure on your own life total on those. Interesting games.
Very interesting. Lots of swinging back and forth. But Edward pulling out in the end.
And that was match number 2. We'll see you later.